What up, what up, what up? It's RayV. Let's get it. I just wanted to clarify some things on the intro video. I was in a don't think, just do mentality. So, after a little bit of research, I realized there's a lot of RayVs out, an absurd amount of RayVs out there. So, y'all can still call me RayV, but hopefully, you already noticed the rebrand, and we're going to be known as the Dynasty reign going forward. Yes, I'm a sad boy, but I was privileged to come home to people that love and care about me, so it is what it is. I'll live. The main thing that led me to wanting to make videos and podcasts for several years now is I just love being right. So this is finna humble me real quick or just ego stroke me. And, hopefully it's the latter. People always come to me for advice anyway, and they rarely listen actually. And the eventual hindsight always ends up in my favor, and I just love throwing that in people's faces. So this is gonna be an experience. Mostly right now, I just want to put my energy into something, and why not take that leap? I sent my one of my boys my first video, the intro video, and he texted me that he was mad. It was mad inspirational, and it makes him want to continue trying new stuff. Shout out my boy Miles. Honestly, the biggest compliment that could come out of this is that like if my league mates start using my own videos or podcasts against me, so some can't beat them, join them type stuff. The biggest push for all of this is I just want to try being myself again. If we're being real, I used to love talking and yapping, and I feel like I low-key lost that for a while. So this is just me taking a step towards getting my vibrance back. Along with all that, I'll probably start these off with a sad boy quote that I wrote or read, just to put my own little spin and touch into things. Selfishly, the only way forward is to be able to talk through it, so that's what I finna do. Don't worry though, it should only be at the start, in the beginning of the vids or pods, before it settles into our biggest fantasies. So today's quote is gonna be, "What am I to do at 2 in the morning? Darkness and stillness are anything but boring." Now, let me decipher that for y'all real quick. Sources say to stay busy and, so you never have to stop and think about your sadness or tough times. But, what are you supposed to do at 2 a.m. and you physically can't sleep? Like, is the answer really to force yourself awake and do something so the silence doesn't eat you alive? These are the things, like, not spoken when people are giving you advice, you know what I mean? I personally, I make songs. I express through writing. I actually made a song at 2 a.m. today, this morning. So that's you gotta do what you gotta do, I guess. I might put these quotes or whatever on T-shirts or something if y'all are down. You know, struggling man needs money, you know what I mean? Alright, that's it for now. So let's get it. Let's talk ball. I'm still working out the kinks of how I want to structure things, but today I think I'll just name 5 guys with a lot of buzz to them, and we'll go from there. So I already pulled this up. Hopefully I can understand how to screenshot and stuff after, so I can put this on the YouTube vid. But we're gonna talk about Jaylen Waddle today. He's our first guy. He got lot of news on him, and he obviously just got traded to the Broncos. But before that, I traded for Waddle in one of my dynasty leagues, my 2 QB league, right before the playoffs started last year. And I disguised it as I need depth for the playoffs, when in reality I didn't even use him at all. I mean, like depth, like if someone got injured, I probably could have plugged and played him anyway. But that's what I was telling my league mate as I wanted to try to trade for him, and that's how I disguised it. So I got away with him, I think, for a 2 and a 3, when I feel like he should have gone for a first. If not at that moment gone for a first, like in the future this year he would have gone for a first, which is what it looks like right now. And so essentially I bought him a little bit early, took a little gamble. The writing was on the wall that they're gonna move on from Tua. So when Malik Willis went over there to Miami for a few days before, and they were going to be on the same team, I really thought that Waddle was going to eat and go back to his PPR king that he was doing when he was a rookie. And I really like that. And then he got traded to the Broncos, which was very unfortunate because Sean Payton just does not love his receivers like that, at least in this system that he's running. But maybe Waddle's the guy he needs. Um, but I have Bo Nix in that same league, and I kind of hate it, not going to lie. But someone likes the news, I'm never opposed to selling, you know, for the right price. All my guys are up for trade. You want Puka? Hey man, give me a Godfather offer. I'll give up Puka. You know, most of the time I say that to my league mates, and they're like, okay, here's 1 second for Puka. That's not what you talking about. But anyway, so I pulled up Keep Trade Cut just to, it's not the gospel or anything, the Bible of what you have to follow, but it is a crowdsourced, crowdsourced website, and these are real people who, this is just to get like a feel for what the community is feeling on the player. So I pulled up Keep Trade Cut, and I'm looking at recent trades for Waddle. I put both 1 QB, 2 QB leagues, 10 or 12 teams, no tight end premium, PPR. Hopefully I could figure out how to put that on the screen. But let's see here. Waddle, going for Waddle second. Waddle in 2 seconds and a first for CD Lamb. I say if like you're trying to trade Waddle, that's probably what you want to do. You want to try to tier up, and I feel like CD Lamb is a pretty good guy to tier up to. You know, first and 2 twos. I'd say CD Lamb is probably like 2 first, maybe 3 first, depending on how your teams get traded around there. It's a super flex league as well, so that 105 is pretty heavy. 4-point passing touchdown. But I'd rather trade like tier up with Waddle, use Waddle to tier up rather than just trade him for like a first, because like a first sounds cool and all, but what are you gonna get at 106? You're just gonna hope to get someone who's as good as Waddle, right? Sometimes if you're looking ahead real hard and you can see like, hey, 106 is gonna be, I need this running back here, and you know like that makes sense. But if you just trade to trade and you don't really have a plan, you just like the number one in front of that, at the front of the pick, like that's not always the best idea. Let's see what else we got here. Waddle, Henry, McLaurin, and a third for Drake London and Hubbard. Something like that's really you get to get off of Derrick Henry. You get to get off of an aging McLaurin as well, and you tier up for Drake London. I do like Drake London. I do think he's going to be good. And Chuba has the essential runway to take over as the lead back again, but he kind of fizzled out last year, and then Jonathan Brooks should be coming back. That's another one. Waddle and 109 for 106 and 202. See, like that I don't really like. You move 3 picks up, and then you move 3 picks up to 106. Do you even know what you're getting there? Like, yes, it's the middle rather than the late end of the first, but and then you get the 202 for Waddle. Jaylen Waddle for Malik Willis, RJ Harvey. Harvey was like a first last year. Was a first last year. Malik Willis, he's a guy. Spoiler alert, we're gonna be talking about him next. But that's a super flex league, so that's pretty good. You gotta get you need a QB, you need a QB. Jaylen Waddle for a 2027 third round pick and the 110. Yeah, that's the trade I wouldn't really do, because at the back, this is seemingly like a more top heavy draft this year. I haven't looked into everything all crazy yet, but I know that's a 1 QB league too, so it's definitely gonna be pretty bad. But yeah, like those trades I wouldn't do. I'd rather try to tier up. Let's see what's this next one. Waddle 210, 307, 212 for Bucky Irving, Jonathan Brooks. I I kind of hate that. You know, I don't really love Bucky Irvin right now. He wasn't doing too well, and they just want to be a committee. You know, obviously Bucky Irving's good. He'll have his good games, but you know, it's just not consistent enough. His lows will be low if he's getting jacked on touchdowns. Jonathan Brooks, I do believe on taking a, you know, trying to trade for him, but not like this. I really like 2 so that doesn't look good. Waddle for Michael Wilson at 112. You know, Superflex League. You know, I might be able to get with that. Michael Wilson did pretty good last year, and they said Brissett is going to start again, so he might just, you know, stare him down all the time, and you get it first. But you know, is that really going to be better than Waddle? I think, like, if you don't believe in Waddle, like, that's a great trade for you, like something like that. But I think I believe in Waddle a little bit more, so I'd rather just hold Jaylen Waddle for Kyler Murray straight up, super flex league. I think I take that. Especially if I need a QB, I take that. But that's just betting on Kyler Murray. You know, he got Justin Jefferson. You know, he should be good in theory, of course. But let's see, Jaylen Waddle for Mason Taylor, 108, 302. Nah, don't really love Mason Taylor that much, especially with the Jets. Geno Smith is going to start. Should at least start the season. Nah, I don't love it. Jaylen Waddle, Tyrone Tracy for Derrick Henry, Devontae Adams in 205. That screams win now trade. Like you're pushing the chips all in for this year, and if that's the case, I like it. You know, Tyrone Tracy lost all value really. Even if Skattebo doesn't look like he's good. Spoiler: Skattebo's also on this list that we're going to talk about later. He's even if he doesn't come back, I'm hearing rumors that um, they want to go pick up someone in the draft. They're still looking free agency running back, so the tea leaves aren't looking good with Tracy in general. So you're really just trading Jaylen Waddle for Henry Adams and a 205. I see that's enough production, enough depth that you're gonna get if you, especially if you're trying to win now. That's a super flex league as well. That's what I would do with Waddle. Another thing I want to try, I think, is the Podfather. I think I don't know if he got it from somebody, but is like a car salesman type of gimmick that he was doing, or a bit that he was doing. So he was doing, you know, you name a player and you try to sell the player, and then you sell the idea of selling the player, and then sell the idea of trading for the player. So at least with Waddle, I want to try to do that. So pull up his stats real quick, just so I have some more stuff to talk about. Got it. Okay, so we'll do trade. I'll do selling, the idea of selling Waddle. Alright, ready? Go. Why would you want Jaylen Waddle? He is not going to be good in the Broncos offense. Did you see Jerry Jeudy in the offense? And what happened to him, right? He got traded because he sucked at a number 2. You think that they're going to be able to use him? They want to be running. All they want to do is run the ball and win games. They don't care how they win. They don't care how sloppy it looks. It doesn't matter. They just want to win the game. That's what the Broncos want. That's their MO. So Waddle's just not going to do good. Oh, maybe he might get some PPR, 8 catches for 30 yards. Woo, you know, like that's not what I want when I'm trading for a receiver. We're trading for like somebody that I need to put in my lineup every week. And even if he's better than Sutton, how good was Sutton last year? He had some good games when he had touchdowns, and then he didn't have good games when, you know, they just ran the ball and won the game, and that's all they want to do. That's their MO. So even if he surpasses Sutton on the depth chart and he becomes the guy, is that even good? You know? And then so if he's a wide receiver 2 for them, he's this number 2 guy. He's just gonna be what, a Jerry Jeudy, and then what, he's gonna get traded to the Browns. You know, that's just not a pass friendly offense. So you know, I'm not trading for him. I was a little sloppy, but we're just talking on a whim there. I didn't really practice that or anything. So now I'm gonna sell the idea of buying Jaylen Waddle. I'm trading for Jaylen Waddle this year because Bo Nix. Are you joking? Sean Payton handpicked Bo Nix to be his quarterback for his team, and now he also handpicked Jaylen Waddle. So you're telling me that they give up like a first and a couple things for Jaylen Waddle? They're not gonna use him? Are you joking me? Dude, the last time Sean Payton handpicked his quarterback and handpicked a wide receiver? That's breeze to MT right there, dude. That's the new slam boy. That's all he has to use him as. Jaylen Waddle is really good in the short game, and he's a good yak person. That that just tells me 10 catches a game, 10 catches, 80 yards minimum. What? 10 touchdowns? Are you joking me? Why would you not want that? I'm buying him. I'm going all in on Jaylen Waddle. So I probably wasn't as good as the Podfather, but I didn't really use any numbers even though I put up these stat sheets, so it is what it is. But hopefully car salesman you guys into thinking one way or the other. But that's all you really gotta do in trades, by the way. You just gotta talk to people. You gotta communicate. That's like the easiest way to get trades done. I got a bunch of league mates that they just send trades, they don't say nothing. Just you don't have to write paragraphs. I write paragraphs, but you don't have to write big old paragraphs long. It's words trying to convince people, but you just have to have a conversation and be friendly. That's how GMs do it in real life. You know, they just have open communication. They have relationships. So it doesn't help that you're always, if you're that league mate that's always, crapping on everybody and saying you have a bad trade, you have a bad trade, no one likes you, da 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 da. You're just burning bridges with people who, are trying to trade with you. Then, then what? Then you're not trading, and then you're all butthurt that everyone else gets trades without you, and then you just get more mad and you just drop in, digging yourself into a deeper hole. And it's the easiest thing to trade, man. That's why I'm able to trade in like every single league I'm in, no matter what friend group, whatever randoms I'm playing with. It's really not that hard, but people just miss the obvious stuff in communicating, which is crazy. All right, let me drop this. And now we're going to look up our next player. Malik Willis is who we're going to talk about. So put him in to the key trade cut. Willis. So I got that same trade, Malik Willis, RJ Harvey for Jaylen Waddle, Superflex League. If I need a QB and a running back, that's tempting at least. You might have to throw on like an extra third or something on the Jaylen Waddle side just to make me feel comfortable, sweeten the pot a little bit. But I could see taking Malik Willis and RJ Harvey right there for Jaylen Waddle, especially if you don't believe in Jaylen Waddle. Superflex 10 teams, 6-point passing touchdowns. I mean, Malik Willis is going to have the runway for the year, so especially if you need a QB, I don't hate it. And you get RJ Harvey. I kind of believe in RJ Harvey. I feel like he's going to do better with J.K. Dobbins back. I feel like he's just not like a workhorsey type of guy. He's better efficiency-wise and pass catching. A lot of people just don't love the pass catching role, but it's like typically with the pass catching back, they're in the 2-minute offense is where they really shine, and then that's when everyone starts checking down. So someone like RJ Harvey, even without the 2-minute offense, Bo Nix loves to check it down. He doesn't love throwing those deep balls because a lot of times he misses it. He loves to check down, and that's like I was saying earlier, that's the Broncos' MO. They just chip away, little by little. They just want to win the game. They don't care if it's ugly. They don't care if it's a 10-7 win. They just want to win. And especially with Bo Nix coming back from injury, there's definitely they're probably him mentally, maybe, but definitely play calling is going to change to where they're going to want the ball out of his hands quicker, and they're probably going to tell him to stop running as much. Even though it was a freak accident, but that's probably what's going to happen. see what else. Superflex League, Malik Willis, 412 for pick 205. A Superflex League, I kind of, I mean, if you just picked them up, I mean, everyone picked them up off the waivers, but you picked them up off the waivers for free. You know, I could see, hey, take my 205 and leave, but I feel like you can hold a little bit. You can hold a little bit, um, and I feel like that'll go up, or you can get a first next year. You know, 205 this year, is that even? You know, I can't off the top of my head tell you who that's gonna be. Um, 1 year in my Dynasty League, I had, who did I have? I had Jordan Love, and I think, is it Sam Darnold? Is Jordan Love and somebody, and I picked them up like right before the season ended, just to have them for the next year. And that was when Rodgers was still on the team, and it was presumed that Love was going to take over the next year. And then he did when Aaron Rodgers left. So I just picked up the free starting quarterback, literally no fab, right before the season ended. And in the beginning of the year, I was telling everyone, I was like, hey, second for him, take him, you know. And I think, I don't know if it was Darnold, but it was something similar to that. I was like, you know, take whatever second guy I had. I was all, he's a second. I was all, both of them for a second, like together for a second, you know, just because it was a super flex league. But, you know, I was okay with just walking away. But if they didn't want to give a second, I was like, hey, the price is going to go up. I'm telling you right now. Like, if he starts having like a few good games and we see that he looks like the real deal, this price is going to go up. You know, today's price is not yesterday's price. And he had a few good games, and then I was able to sell him for maybe not first, but it was like a first equivalent. But it was definitely higher than what it was originally. And sometimes you just got to take a risk like that, especially super flex league. So in this situation here, Malik Willis, definitely, I think I would hold, or I would hold, I not think. I'm taking more than a 205. I have Malik Willis in two QB leagues, not Superflex, two QB leagues, and I'm holding him. I'm I'm milking a first out of that guy. All right, hold on real quick. Show, my bad. I had to do something real quick. Where are we at again? Hopefully I understand how to clip all these together, put all these together, because this is gonna be awkward. I made like 2 or 3 cuts already. 2027 first, Malik Willis, and 108 for Herbert, and a 301. So that's essentially, 301, who cares? That's basically 108, 2027 first, and Malik Willis for Justin Herbert. I don't know if I love Herbert that much. And Herbert was highly inflated last year because his tackles went down, his linemen went down, and he was in a he had actually had to throw the ball, but Harbaugh doesn't want to throw the ball. That guy wants to run, run, run. Hampton was hurt for a little bit last year, so this is probably a 2 firsts for Justin Herbert in a super flex league. And Malik Willis, who you probably just got off of waivers. I mean, this is probably the best chance you'll get at Justin Herbert. So if you like Justin Herbert, hey, take him. But that's a 2027 first. That's a Malik Willis, who's probably just going to be maybe just as good. You know, he's a runner. He is a runner. He had, let's see, put up the stats. 60 yards rushing against Baltimore, 44 rushing. They're probably going to run him a lot. That's a 10 rush game, 10 carry game, I mean. 40 or 44 yards. That Baltimore one, I remember that one. 9 rushes, 60 yards, 2 touchdowns. They're probably going to run him a lot. They don't care. Miami would totally run him to the ground and then just draft a QB next year. That's 100% what they would do. But if you like Herbert, hey, this is probably the cheapest you'll ever get Herbert. Probably. But I think I'm sticking with my picks and Malik Willis. Malik Willis for a 2027 2, 4, and a 20 and the 109. That I would take that trade. Superflex league, especially if you got him off the waivers for nothing. I'm taking that trade. That's a good enough trade to where I just got a first round pick for some guy off the waivers. He could be as good as he wants, but sometimes you gotta sell. You just gotta profit, man. You just got a 1, 2, 4 for some guy you got off the waivers for 0 fab. That's when I would sell. That's when I would take my profit and walk away. Malik Willis and the 309 for T Mac. Tetsuroa McMillan. Superflex League. I don't know if I love T Mac that much. He was good. The name value's all there, but like, is he gonna be that good? I don't know. I really like Coker. One of them Coke heads. That guy's pretty good. Hella messed up that they did that undrafted free agent tag on him. I mean, that's the name of the game. He's only gonna make like a 3 million, and he is forced to stay on the Panthers. But hopefully, he still stays good and he's able to get a payday. That's basically what happened to Jawan Jennings right now for the Niners. They forced him essentially to stay that last year. He had no year, and then he came back. He went into free agency this off season, and it was a bad wide receiver market, and he can't get 15 to 20 million that he wanted. But the year before, he definitely could have got it, so it's quite unfortunate. He's probably gonna have to. He probably will sign back with the Niners for like 6 million. If not, he's just not gonna sign anyway. He's well under the 15-20 that he wanted. But I think I'd take. I mean, if you don't need Malik Willis, you could just trade him for T Mac. That makes sense. But you could use him, or you want to gamble a little bit. I'm holding Malik Willis. Superflex League 14. So my final verdict, I guess, would be on that Malik Willis, T Mac. I'd take T Mac, I guess. Even though Malik Willis could be good. I mean, T Mac was last year first round pick. I'd rather just take the gamble with the Panthers, I guess, more than the QB, especially a free QB. I'm just assuming everyone got him for free or whatever fab you got him, but you got him off the waivers last year. He wasn't on anyone's team that you were trading for. These ones are a little complicated. Breece Hall, Malik Willis. Yeah, that's too much stuff in there. Actually, that's not. Breece Hall, Malik Willis for Nico Collins. I think I'm keeping Breece Hall. 1 QB. Yeah, I think I'm keeping Breece Hall. Nico Collins, really good. Always hurt. Not always, but he's hurt a lot, and then it really just depends on what Stroud shows up that day. Depends if Stroud's going to be doing a bunch of podcasts this season and not be as locked in or seemingly locked in as he was the previous seasons. So that one, I would probably just keep Breece Hall, Malik Willis. Take the bet that Breece Hall is going to be good, stay healthy this year, and get a payday somewhere. Somewhere good. All right, those ones are a little too much. Malik Willis for Travis Hunter and Vele. I think I'd rather just keep Malik Willis. It's looking a lot like Travis Hunter's going to play defense this next year with a sprinkle of offense, but honestly, that might be better for him to be they're going to put him on offense. It's usually to be a gadget guy, and they're going to sprinkle him in, so why wouldn't the play design be designed for him? He's just going to be running as a decoy. I mean, that's possible too, but I feel like more likely than not, when he's on the field, they're at least designing the ball to go to him. Everyone knows it's coming, but what can you do? It's like when the Niners had Debo. It's like Debo's clearly going to get the ball, but who cares? They'll give it to him anyway. What is this? Malik Willis for Cam Ward. I think I'm taking Malik Willis, 1 QB. I think I'm taking Malik Willis because obviously Cam Ward has the staying power, but especially in a 4-point passing touchdown, Malik Willis, could score more. He just runs more. They're probably going to run him a lot, probably run him close to 10 times a game. It's probably going to be easy 5 points, 50 yards, That's a whole touchdown. It's more than one passing touchdown than Cam Ward. That's just how it is. And 4-point passing touchdowns, one QBs. Cam Ward looks way better on paper, but it's like he's a passing guy, and this guy's a rushing guy. So I'd take the upside in Malik Willis, if I'm being honest. But longevity wise, Cam Ward is a great pick. But I'm taking Malik Willis. Malik Willis straight up for the 110 Superflex League, 12 teams. Yeah, I would take that. Just walk away, take your profit. Sam Laporta, Malik Willis for Trevor Lawrence. I kind of like Laporta. It's definitely like an upgrade, but like I don't know how good Trevor Lawrence is gonna continue to be. He had a couple of 40-point games last year, but it's like didn't seem pretty fluky, and it seems like the Jags just aren't good, even though they were good. But yeah, gotta get rid of Laporta though. I like Laporta. I take T-Law. I guess it would cop out answer depend on who your next tight end is, but I think I'd keep Laporta and Malik Willis. If I'm being honest, I don't care too hard for giving up Laporta for T-Law, and Malik Willis will probably be back end QB1, a high end QB2, and will Trevor Lawrence be like a mid range QB1 like at the end of the season? I don't know. Don't know. But my choice there is Laporta and Willis. Malik Willis, last one. Malik Willis for a 2 and a 3? Nah, I wouldn't do that. Not doing that. Need more. Need more. Need more. Alright, I'm not doing that car salesman thing again. Maybe next video. But my next guy we're gonna bring up is Travis Etienne, and it's actually pronounced Etienne. He said it the other day, and I think it's even like Etienne because I think it's French, and he's from Louisiana. But Etienne is probably too hard for the announcers to say because they're just gonna keep butchering it. That's why he gave up the first time and just said to call him Etienne, the way it's spelled. But if he wants to be Etienne or Etienne, like Devon Etienne, hey man, that's your name. That's what's up. Travis Etienne. Travis Hunter 204 for Kyron Williams and 209. Oh. No, I think I just keep. I don't really love Kyron Williams like that. I think I keep Etienne. Travis Etienne. Yeah, even, you're trying to get rid of seemingly dead asset in Travis Hunter, I'd rather just keep Etienne. T. Higgins and Etienne. I'm gonna call him Etienne, man. It's too weird. Just to make it easier. T. Higgins and Etienne for Waddle and 107. I like Higgins over Waddle, even though he's a wide receiver too for his own team. And I think I like Etienne over the 107, so I think I'm taking that side. T. Higgins, Etienne. Etienne for Sampson. Dylan Sampson in 204. Don't love that. He just got paid, so yeah, at least has this whole year, and if not the next year, to be elite or like his prime. So no, I don't want Dylan Sampson at 204. Ooh, Etienne for 2028 1 Etienne 2028 1 and 2027 3 for CMC. I'm a Niner guy, but I always hate trying to pick up Niner players. Just feels like bad juju in the air. And it doesn't feel good that McCaffrey was totally healthy last year. Does not feel good at all with I think he had like 450 touches total. with the ball, with the ball in his hand. He's on the field for more than 450. He's taking all them hits. That's a lot. Not super confident in him being unbreakable again, a second year in a row. I think I'm keeping Etienne. Got to give Etienne and a first and a third for a win now move. No, I think I'm staying. But, Etienne, my bad. I forgot to say that, obviously, well, if you didn't see in the news, Etienne went to the Saints, and that's such an ugly spot. They're like, hard rebuild, and they paid this guy. But the only, plus side I could see out of this is they just keep giving him dump offs. So that's why I'm thinking that he's going to be here for a good time, not a long time. So I'm thinking 1 year, if he doesn't get hurt at the end of this year, next year he's going to be already deteriorating a little bit, but this is the year to have him if you have him. And then by the end of next year, you should trade him. But that's just my opinion. Let's see, Etienne and the 312 for Wandale, Robinson and the 104. I think I take that. 1 QB league. You get a walk away from Etienne, and you get a 104. It's essentially 312 for Wandale Robinson. Not 1-to-1 exactly. Wandale was really good, and they just paid him. So he should be good. He's better than a 312. So yeah, I think I take that. That's a good flex player for you. And the 104 and a 1 QB. It's like a rule of thumb that I've heard that after the first big payday that a running back that the running back gets, that's when you should trade them. That's when their fall off is about to start, which totally makes sense because they're usually on a team for 3-4 years before that extension even hits or before that free agency even hits. So it lines up with how many years they would have in their prime to be running. ETN 2027 3, 2027 1, and Shaheed. I would take that all day. Hopefully, that's an earlier 2027. But that draft is going to be top heavy for sure. It's going to be pretty good. And you're giving up a 3 for Shaheed essentially. And I would take that easily. Let's look at one more good one. Oh, right here. ETN for Olave, Flowers, Pierce, and JCM. Bill. Shout out, fantasy footballers. I easily take that. That wasn't a good one. Flowers, Pierce. These are all dated by recent, by the way, so they're not able to put it on the screen. It's trades from today, April 1st, all the way to, I was going back to like 330, maybe 329, a couple of them. One more trade, come on. ETN for Algier in the 206, no. Don't even care where Algier goes. No. Did Algier go somewhere? I don't remember. He went to the Cardinals, didn't he? Yeah, he went to the Cardinals. Definitely no. Maybe if he went somewhere better. Cardinals. They took James Conner back too. Nah. See, ETN 207 for Rico Dowdle and 110. I'm not taking the 110 for ETN. I'm not trading. I probably would trade a 207 for Al. Hopefully you guys didn't hear that. 207. I would probably trade the 207 for Dowdle. I don't think that's enough for me to move off of ETN. I don't like that 110 at all. Alright. And now this guy will probably be controversial. Odunze. Odunze, I don't believe in him. I'm not thinking that he's not. Hold on, let me think. I want to say this. I don't think he's like not good, but he, I don't know, he's just not doing it for me. I didn't really love him coming out of college to be like the guy, and then he came to my bad. He came to the Bears. They have so many passing options, and they don't even seem like they want to pass all that hard. Well, it seems like a lot of the times they want to run the ball, and they only pass when they have to, when they're losing, when it's a game like that. DJ Moore was always in his way, and now DJ Moore is gone. Seems like they're opening it up for Luther Burden, if I'm being honest, and they want the offense to go through him, is what it seemingly looked like. Odunze does drop a lot of balls, whether that's Caleb Williams' problem or not. If he's not throwing them the best balls, or it's on Odunze's fault, half, whoever is at more fault. Um, Caleb Williams is the quarterback, so it doesn't really matter. He's still dropping the balls. His dad's still making videos. And Ben Johnson didn't draft him. Is my big concern. Ben Johnson did draft Luther Burden. He did draft Colson Loveland, and feel like he just really wants to get those guys the ball. Feel like they want to do two tight end sets. They want Loveland and Komet on there. Komet's one of their better blocking tight ends, and he's good at catching too, so he'll just slip for some stuff. They're also a team that they don't really care if someone is a superstar or not. They just want to win. Just want to win games. That's probably why they booted DJ Moore. Honestly, I feel like DJ Moore cares a little bit about getting the ball and wants to be that guy. So let's see. I mean, I could look at his stats real quick too. Roma Odunze in the postseason. I think he was coming off an injury though, to be fair. But two receptions, 6 targets, 44 yards against Green Bay, and then also 2 for 6, same thing against the Rams. So that's not. I mean, I guess I could see if he was hurt here. The last game of the season, he was 2 for 6 for 8 yards against Philly. So yeah, I'm not. I mean, he'll surely have some blow up games, but do not think that he is the guy that they want to feed the ball to. So let's see. Look at these trades: Odunze, Marvin Harrison, and the 108 for Luther Burden, Wandale, and 104. That's so much garbage and so much clutter, I should say, not garbage. It seems like this guy is not believing in Marvin Harrison, and believing more in Luther Burden. Off the top of my head, I'm pretty sure Wandale Robinson had a better fantasy year than Marvin Harrison. So that's probably what this guy's thinking. Would I take such a gamble? I'd probably take this, honestly. I'd probably take the Luther Burden, Wandale Robinson, and 104 side. 1 QB, 10 teams. That 104, that's 4 picks up. That's the upper echelon of the draft. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And I don't believe in Roma Odunze, but just because I don't believe in him doesn't mean you shouldn't be getting your full value. But especially if you're down on him, down on Marvin Harrison, with the Michael Wilson breakout that went down, Jacoby Brissett is back again. I kind of believe in Marvin Harrison too, but this is seemingly like this guy wants to get out on these two names. And you get Luther Burden back, who I'm perceiving as the wide receiver one, the main funnel for this offense of the Bears. Wandale Robinson had a good year, 104. Yeah, I'm taking that side. Roma Odunze, 206 for a first, 2027 first, and Christian Watson. I hate the Green Bay wide receivers. It's too difficult. Jordan Love doesn't throw it enough, even before Jordan Love. Actually, I guess not. Aaron Rodgers was feeding Devontae, but I don't know. I just have a bad vibe about them. Don't know how to explain it. Yeah, I don't know. I think I want that 2027 first, but is Christian Watson really the answer? Is it? I feel like you can get more than a first with a little bit more than a first with Odunze, even though I'm not believing in him. That doesn't mean you shouldn't be able to get, his name value type stuff. I guess I stay with Odunze and 206 on that one. That's a super flex league too, actually. Actually, that's a super flex league. I think I might just take the first and take the gamble, especially if you need someone like Arch Manning. Yeah, and then just try to sell Watson after a good game or something. I changed my mind. 2027 first and Watson. Roma Dunze, 2028 second. Bryce Young, DJ Moore, super flex league. I think I take that. I think I take Bryce Young, and I think DJ Moore with Josh Allen is gonna do. Did go to the Bills, right? Hold on, let me go check this real quick. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he went to the Bills. Yeah, I think DJ Moore will probably produce more than Odunze, especially with Josh Allen, and Bryce Young is probably going to be better than whatever round two from 2028 you're going to get the Superflex League. I think the Panthers are up. I got my Panthers shirt on, so Panthers are looking up. I like it. Odunze and Hurts for CD Lamb and a 1 QB? No. Jalen Hurts is way too valuable in a 1 QB league, even though he's very inconsistent. When he is getting those rushing touchdowns, he is eating in fantasy. I mean, I guess it just depends on your next QB. If he's like reasonable, I mean, this is probably like an easy up tier to CD Lamb. So I guess it depends on like if you maybe this guy has Jalen Hurts and he just drafted Caleb Williams or drafted Jaden Daniels or something last year. Not last year, but in recently. And this is a 1 QB league, so you can't play anybody else. Or if this guy got Malik Willis and he's willing to go crazy and play Malik Willis and hope that he's consistently better than Jalen Hurts, I could see it to take CeeDee Lamb. So if you have a comparable quarterback, anything good enough to be there, I guess I would take CeeDee Lamb actually. Let's see, Odunze, Brees Hall for Rashee Rice and RJ Harvey. I don't know. Rashee Rice is so much news on him. Would I take that risk and take RJ Harvey instead of Brees Hall? Rome Odunze, Brees Hall for Rashee Rice, RJ Harvey. I would. I like Brees Hall over RJ Harvey, too. Rashee Rice is such a gamble. I don't know what's up with this guy. I honestly thought last year he was going to be suspended more than he was, or more suspended. And now he's coming off injury. I think I'm sticking Odunze, Brees Hall. Let's do one more. This one's Rome Odunze and 202 for Luther Burden. So both these guys are thinking Luther Burden is going to do way better. Taking, dang, and the 202 for Luther Burden. Like, it's one thing to think that Luther Burden's going to be better, but it's different to pay that he's going to do better. So total gamble, or total trusting and believing that Luther Burden's going to be better. Like, you guys, you take Luther Burden here rather than Rome Odunze and the 202. But I don't think you got to pay that. Feel like you could get away with less. Feel like you should be able to get away with less, at least for now, until like training camp starts and you start seeing like what kind of offense they're running and who's getting the ball more and everything. But I do like Luther Burden more than Odunze, and the 202 doesn't move me. I would take Luther Burden. I would take Luther Burden with my mindset, but I'd probably just hold Odunze in the 202 and try to trade for more, if I'm being honest. Alright. Bye-bye. Last guy, Skattebo. This guy is in all the news. It looks like he's going to be ready for training camp, but word around the streets is saying that they are looking for a running back in the draft. They're looking for running backs, still not signed yet. Can't really think of anybody off the top of my head who's still a free agent running back that needs to be signed. That would really hurt them. But it seems like they don't want to give him the ball every play, because that's definitely how he got hurt. They just gave him it was a freak accident and all, but they were working, they were grinding him, they were grinding that dude to the bone. So let's check it out. Skattebo for Charbonnet, Emmanuel Wilson, and the 211 in a 1 QB league. So he's giving you the Seattle backfield and 211 for Skattebo. I don't know. I think I'd take Charbonnet and Wilson and 211 over that one off Skattebo coming off an injury, because Charbonnet is coming off an injury, but when he's back, he should resume, and he was really good when he was by himself. It's really good when he's a vulture. Takes all the touchdowns from Kenneth Walker. Emmanuel Wilson, he's just a name in there. He's the presumed starter right now while Charbonnet's still out. That guy's just getting rid of him, putting them together. That's a smart play. But Seattle does love to run, so I think I'm taking that over Skattebo. Yeah, I think I'm doing that. All right, Skattebo and Tracy for Hubbard and Brooks. I am a Brooks believer. I will get burned by him every time. Not really, but I drafted him that first year, his rookie year. Burned. But just because he burned you last year doesn't necessarily mean that he's gonna burn you again. Well, he didn't burn you last year. You shouldn't have drafted him last year. They said he was gonna be out the whole year. But I do like the Panthers' run game more. Chuba should be leading the way, and Jonathan Brooks, the second guy, I think is really, these 1-2 punches are just really what works. Unfortunately, it really sucks for us fantasy players, but it's just really what works. And Skattebo and Tracy, where it said whatever about Tracy, but I really believe that they're gonna get another running back in there, and it's just gonna be three-headed, all messy, all nasty. Skattebo is not gonna be the same guy. He's probably not gonna be the same like coming back, and then he's not gonna be the same. They're not gonna give him the same volume and all the time, like keep him on the field all the time. They don't want to get him hurt again. They want him to at least last out his rookie contract while they're grinding him to the bone. Let's see, Garrett Wilson, Skattebo, 2027 second, and J.K. Dobbins for the 101. And the tour. This is a super flex league. I think you take that because I'm sure this guy needs Fernando Mendoza. Garrett Wilson had a bad year last year. Seemingly only going to get worse. I believe I seen that what's his name? Geno Smith is named actually the starter of the Jets, so it's not looking good. And Garrett Wilson's stuck there for whatever amount of years still. He just signed that extension. He's like a good name, but he does just suck for fantasy most of the time. I think I'm sure this guy needs Fernando Mendoza, or he's rebuilding or whatever, so you trade for the 101. There's some reason to that. So I'm taking that side. There's too much cluster. I'm trying to find one that's shorter. Cam Skattebo 212, Jaden Higgins 202. I like Higgins, but I don't think he's that good. Move 10 spots up in the second. But does that really matter? You might take another tight end, second tight end there or something. I guess I just stick with Skattebo on that one. Skattebo for a 2027 first and 2028 first. Superflex, yeah, you take that. 328, 26, so that's crazy. I wonder if they did not veto that. That's crazy. 2 firsts of injury. 327, Cam Skattebo for a 2028 first. 12 teams, Superflex, 6 passing touchdown. That's crazy. He's still going for a first. I see another one. 2027 first, Superflex League. And I have Skattebo in the league. I'm about to trade him for a first. What the hell? Skattebo for 101. That's absurd. Who is putting this information into the database? Skattebo and TJ Hawkinson for Harold Fannin. I would do that. I believe in Harold Fannin. TJ Hawkinson, he's just doesn't look the same. It's the hair. Grew it all out, messed him up. Kyler Murray doesn't really love his tight ends anyway. That fool was not feeding Trey McBride the way he should have been. Who else is here? These are all super clustery. Like, how do you even pick these apart? Skattebo for 101 again. This is crazy. Skattebo for a 2027 first. Dude. That doesn't even make any sense. Cam Skattebo, RJ Harvey, and 201. I think I take RJ Harvey 201. 1 QB, 12 teams. I like that. That's a good way to get out of Skattebo. Skattebo, 2027 first. Matthew Golden for George Pickens. Nah, I don't think so. Unless you're going to win now and you don't care about that. You know, that's going to be a high. It's going to be a late 2027 first. You know, George Pickens definitely gives you the points there. And dang, that's so loud. 1 second. 10%. I got 20 minutes. George Pickens is hey, if that completes your team, you're gonna make that push, and that pick's gonna be what is this, 10 leagues? So it'd be the 110. I would do it. I would do it if that's your missing piece, George Pickens, because he's gonna eat again. He's just too good, especially when CD's on the other side of him. They franchised him, right? I'm pretty sure we did. Let's look at one more. Alright, these all suck actually. Skattebo, Romeo Dobbs, Woody Marks, and a 205. Don't love it. I feel like you can get more out of that. But if that's your only trade, no one else wants Skattebo. I mean, Woody Marks is alright, and that text message, my bad. Woody Marks is alright. He is. He should be better, honestly, if he is. Who'd they trade for? Montgomery. So he should be better in the third down role, and like he was working in the 2 minute drill. He just gets catches. That's all you need from those guys, especially That's why I hate PPR sometimes. These guys just get 10 catches and have like 30 yards. This is the most ridiculous thing. Has 10 points right there, 13 points, 30 yards. 205 is probably earlier than what you drafted Skattebo at last year, and you get a fresh new rookie to pick. I think I take that. Dobbs is pretty good. He just got paid. Oh shoot, Dobbs is on the Patriots too. Yeah, duh. I think I take that. Yeah, I'll take that on him. I remember he got paid. I didn't remember if he left. But when I said paid, I was like, no, he went somewhere. Yeah, I think I take that. Bye, Skattebo. Alright. Well, I think that's it for today. I gotta mess with this and see how to put everything together and see how it goes. Maybe I'll put some more bullet points and have like a structure, structure a little outline of what I want the shows to be. Honestly, I haven't even tried to look at how to make these into podcasts yet. Just YouTube was so easy to click and open. So, might try to do this. I don't know. I'll try to look it up to see what works. I would like to just put this all together, but having like an hour-long YouTube video, I mean, I can break it up into sections and everything, and maybe cut out the times where I'm just rambling or the dead silency parts. Uh, but I feel like I formatted this way better for like a podcast more than a YouTube video. But we'll see. If I waited till try to make everything perfect and try to do everything and re-record everything again and again and again, I would never start. So we're just gonna work out the kinks as we go, and yeah, it is what it is. All right, man. Well, since it's a YouTube video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.